In this video, I want to talk about two burning issues. The first one, I already put out an advice warning on Pagalum Tagati that he needs to be careful. And part of being careful, it doesn't only mean physical harm is going to happen to him, but mostly a psychological war is going to be thrown at him where he finds himself pushed against the corner and having to defend himself. I don't know if you've ever read Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War. Now, one of the best strategies when you are under attack or at war is not to show the enemy that you are actually fighting or you are at war. You must confuse the enemy. And the best person on this planet that understands that principle of the art of war by Sun Tzu is Beyonce. How many times Beyonce has been accused of atrocious, conspiracies and propaganda? Has she ever defended herself once? No. She kept quiet. You know why she kept quiet? She was at war, but her war was going to be won by life, showing itself to people, leaving the enemy all confused like, hey, I want you to defend yourself. Because when you defend yourself, you also diminish a part of you. Whenever you defend yourself, you will always lose something. Maybe you might lose some people that actually believed in you when now you are trying to explain yourself. Because remember, people can play with your words. People can twist your words. People can misinterpret your words. People can do whatever they want with your words. And we've seen it on YouTube. YouTubers running with it, twisting Pagalum Tagati's words since he had responded. Those are enemies. Whichever way you want to look at it, those are enemies. And I'm not going to accuse them of getting paid, or maybe there's a force behind that. It is their own shallow-mindedness also. Like, oh, he said something. Oh, look at Pagalum Tagati. Everybody's talking about Pagalum Tagati. He has a wife. That's a Zimbabwe. Oh, Pagalum Tagati. But their mind will never say, hang on a minute. This world is still patriarchy. Okay, let's put the correct verb here. Patriarchal. This world is still patriarchal in 2026. So patriarchy, what does it do? And I'll give you a say. Maybe I might not say it perfectly in Zulu, but it's an idiom. Induku enhle ishaya emazweni. How do you directly translate that? Or at least, how do you abstract insight out of that? It simply means, as a man, this is where patriarchy comes in. A man can dabble anywhere and everywhere he wants to. Now, if you look at biology, one man can impregnate at least half of this planet. One man can impregnate half of women on this planet. So you might even go into an argument about polygamy, polyamory, throuple relationships, and all of that stuff. You can go there. I'm not interested in that. The point that I'm trying to make here, Pagalum Tagati as a man, let's say, suppose he does have a Zimbabwean wife. As a man, he can double and dabble wherever he wants to. But here's the thing. Once again, patriarchy and culture. Whoever a man marries, that woman becomes that of the man. This is the same thing we talk about South African women married to Nigerian man, or married to Congolese, or married a woman married to these people. She is no longer of this country. She now belongs to exactly. So you can just tell that this is propaganda, and this machine is to destroy the credibility of Pagalum Tagati. Not only the credibility of Pagalum Tagati, but you must question what exactly is your plan with this March and Amabuto, and you taking us to the streets to march against foreigners. And yet I even saw a title of a video say sleeping with the enemy. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Like, is that where your mind went to? That's where your mind went to. It did not go into all of these debates that I have seen on TikTok, I have seen on YouTube, in some podcast, all about patriarchy. Suddenly, all of that just flew through the window because Pagalum Tagati must be destroyed by distrusting him. I warned this, and I knew it was going to happen along these lines, because going to him physically will be obvious, way too obvious. But going and screw with his mind, that's the war that was just brought before Pagalum Tagati. Now, Pagalum Tagati, what did he do? He disarmed this particular propaganda. He said, yes, I saw a beautiful girl and I went after her like any man. He doesn't ask where she comes from. He doesn't ask many questions except to know that, because he's Zulu, is she Ndabandab, or the clan names of Ndabandab? Probably she said, oh no, mina ngwase Zimbabwe, I'm in Ndebele, from Ndebele land in Zimbabwe. And then he thought, Ntombi ngiyayithanda, it's beautiful. Even our very own kings do not only marry their own women from the nation. They go to other nations as well. They may take from Eswatini. They might take from the Basotho, can take from even as far as wherever, other royal houses outside of the kingdom. Patriarchy. So suddenly patriarchy just flew out of the window. But I also understand why patriarchy flew out of the window. And I always attribute things of this nature to our education system. Our education system has never created critical thinkers, because a critical thinker wouldn't even entertain this at all. Because, of course, he would have a Zimbabwean wife. Operative word is wife. Because he can take a woman from anywhere in the world and make her a South African and Ndabandaba and give birth to Ndabandaba children. That's what he can do. Again, patriarchy. But no, Pagalum Tagati needs to be destroyed. He needs to be reduced to something that is distrusted. Every time he calls a march, wherever he calls a march, he must not be adhered to. He must be questioned. Now, who is pushing this propaganda? Who is that person that thought, you know what, South Africans vele lima. If I pull this and I sell it, South Africans will buy it. First, it will start with, oh, South Africans are divided in half about this. All is to target the lack of critical thinking. Then that lack of critical thinkers go and attack Pagalum Tagati. By attacking Pagalum Tagati, it sort of spreads along other people who are now going to be left feeling leaderless. Like, why vele? Uleli no muntu wase Zimbabwe. Which, by the way, he says it emphatically, he does not have a Zimbabwean wife, or a foreign wife for that matter. Oh, do you think those that are pushing the propaganda are liking that? Because he disarmed them. Oh, no. The titles of videos must say he has a Zimbabwean wife. Those that make commentary, they must use that sentence, he has a Zimbabwean wife, because they are hell-bent on the propaganda for South Africans to continue to get kidnapped, sold drugs, all that nonsense that Pagalum Tagati and everybody are fighting against. And then you wonder why some content creators, influencers, and celebrities are not on the streets. They are not talking about what is affecting the people of South Africa, as if South Africa is somewhere on cloud nine. They're untouched until a group of foreigners break into their house, grape their women, unalive them, and then they just walk, because who's going to catch them? They're undocumented. None of the persons is documented anywhere in South Africa. Justice will never be served until that happens. And then those survivors of the very same people that are saying nothing, they're going to say, oh, my family was wiped. Justice for my family. And now you want us all to jump on that bandwagon and say justice for. You are playing with yourself. It's all that I'm going to say. You are playing with yourself. And I keep telling you this. This is God's country. How you are treating God's country, there are consequences where he's just going to say, let me teach this one a little lesson. And then you're going to come and say, oh, hey, inflatelo amadlozi, oh, me, this has happened. No, you called it upon yourself. You called it upon yourself. Pagalum Tagati is chosen to lead. When you are chosen to lead, it is for you either to follow or you don't follow. But to come and create lies. And he's not saying it's a lie that he dated these Zimbabwean women, but it's a lie that he's married to her. He doesn't have a Zimbabwean wife. Yes, he may have had a Zimbabwean girlfriend before. But again, looking at patriarchy, what is wrong with him having a Zimbabwean girlfriend or a Zimbabwean wife? But you see, your shallow mind is not going to compute this question. It's not going to compute because you are not trained mentally to stretch your mind and think before you talk. Abanye bayasinabazi bethela. And these are South Africans, by the way. And you have to ask a question. Why? What do you benefit from seeing Pagalum Tagati destroyed? Because destroying Pagalum Tagati, this will end March and March, Amabuto, and all these marches to clean South Africa. But let's do this before the 30th of June. He needs to be destroyed. And I'm going to tell you right now, this campaign fell flat on its face. It's dead. Pagalum Tagati, he disarmed it, even though I feel like he should have just played with people's minds. I wanted to use the F word, like with people's minds, by not saying anything. Because now they have an opportunity to say, okay, I can twist this, I can twist that. But I'm also going to say, when anybody tries to twist your words, Mr. Pagalum Tagati, there's this thing called civil courts in South Africa. A lawsuit. There's this thing called defamation of character. Anybody that sells a story that is to defame your name, approach that court. Let them go prove what they are alleging in the public space. Do that. Maybe it's about time some lessons are learned and some people used as an example. Because we are fighting here. We're fighting for our country. And if any South African is adamant and hell-bent on stopping this, and they're doing it with propaganda and slandering people's names, then they need to meet the judge. That time has come, actually, in my opinion. Jacinta, Pagalum Tagazong, Gizwin Kunu, and everybody that is involved in cleaning this country. We need to do exactly what foreign nationals do. They utilize our courts. And our courts, what do? They rule in their favor. It's about time we also adopted the very same attitude in fighting for what is ours. Our country. Our country. It's about time. You misinterpret or you twist Pagalum Tagati's words. Pagalum Tagati should just send a summons of a nice million rand that you're going to have to go and defend. But before defending it, you're going to have to prove your allegations. If he has a Zimbabwean wife, let's see the marriage certificate that is in your possession. Let's see it. Content creators, I'm just saying, and I'm also as your colleague on this platform, take it as a piece of advice. Because I'm telling you right now, I am one of those South Africans that you are not going to like when it comes to the sovereignty of this country. If you are not affected, then get out of the way. Get out. Now, let's come to my second burning issue. So, as you already know, that the local government elections of 2026 are already rolling. Political parties are now offering us, or at least showing us, the mayoral candidates. Already we know that Helen Zille is going to run for the local government election mayoral candidacy under the DA for the city of Johannesburg. We know that Xolani is also going to be running for mayor candidate in Ekurhuleni. And in Pretoria, of course, Nasipi, in the city of Johannesburg, Herman Mashaba under Action SA. And then recently, this weekend, we had the IFP that introduced the MMC for Human Settlement. What's his name again? Oh my God, I know his name. Lungis. Wait. I am so sorry, sir. Yeah, I'm Lungisi Mabaso. Lungisi Mabaso, I like him. I like his mind. I like the way he has that je ne sais quoi in what he's doing currently in his position. Now, the question is he a mayor or a mayoral candidate or a mayoral material? That's a bit of a stretch for me to say yes. Why am I saying that? I listened to his interview. It was sent to me through it was an SABC interview, if I'm not mistaken. And I was listening because we are looking for a great mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg, so that we know whom to go and put our X next to on November 4th, 2026. So I was a little bit excited to hear what he's going to say. And I saw a headline talking about a 10-point plan. I'm like, oh, great. You need to have a 10-point plan. You need to have a vision of some sort that requires a complete turnaround for the city of Johannesburg. For some of us who grew up in the city, we want to see and hear ourselves in the candidate. So far, the person that has done that is Helen Zille. Helen Zille took us on a nostalgic journey, showed us where she was born and grew up, showed us Hillbrow, showed us Berea, showed us, I think, downtown Joburg as well. And I had a flashback of, oh my goodness, I remember this, I remember that, I remember that. It felt amazing. It felt amazing. Now, ever since her, I have not found any other candidate that is showing us, the Joburgers. So then I thought, okay, maybe Mlungisi Mabaso is going to give us that. Even though Mlungisi Mabaso, I don't believe that he grew up in Johannesburg. I think he comes from KwaZulu-Natal. I'm not sure where in KwaZulu-Natal. And the question is, when did he arrive in Johannesburg, so that when he speaks on something that he saw the first time he came here and thought, wow, I like that, and I like that, and how he's going to bring that back better and also align it with the 21st century. That is what I wanted to hear. Anyways, let's read an article and then I'll come back to the interview, because I wanted to hear. I'm blind reacting to this article, by the way. It's from Anna. It's from Anna by IOL Reporter, which was published on the 17th of May 2026. When was that? Would that be yesterday? Okay, now I'm a little watery in the eyes, so I hope I'll be able to read. Mlungisi Mabaso, the Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, mayoral candidate for Johannesburg, has unveiled his plans to return South Africa's largest city to its former glory. Okay. I like that part, to its former glory. On Saturday, speaking at an event at the Jablani Technical School in Soweto, Mabaso emphasized a revitalization strategy that hinges on reducing dependency on government handouts while simultaneously creating robust employment and economic opportunities for residents. Now, I'm going to say something about what I just read. It sounded generic to me. It's too generic what I am hearing. Revitalization strategy. reducing dependency on government handouts. No, I don't want to hear this. What I want to hear is how you are going to take us back to the former glory of Johannesburg. Leave out how we are dependent on government and the city is dependent on government. I want to hear tangible things, things that will remind me of what it's like being a Joburger back in the day and what we've lost as we are to this day. Quote, we are going to deal with issues of corruption, generic. Our revenue base is very big in Johannesburg, so it does not justify the decline in revenue collection. Well, I don't know why you are spinning this, Mr. Mabaso. Maybe because you are part of the mayoral committee where you do not want to admit to what the Minister of Finance told South Africa or in a leaked letter about how the city of Johannesburg is actually bankrupt. You ought to have told us this and how you are going to turn that around, because the city of Johannesburg is known as, when you left KZN, you said you are going to Egoli. And us who live Egoli, what do we know about our city? What do we know about our city? We know it as a city of gold. Now, the metaphor, gold, it talks about so many things. Back in the day, how people woke up in the morning from their foggy, from smog townships, hop on taxis and going into the city of Johannesburg, either Kuyo Fesa to market to look for jobs. And when they come back in the afternoon, guess what they're coming back to say to the family? Ngitholum sebenzi, I got a job. Why? Because there's abundance of employment. Why? Because of that gold. Yes, I know the gold is, but you know what I'm trying to say. You look for insight in that. I did not hear that from the speech. I did not feel like I'm included. It's like he was talking to a totally different city. There's a language that Joburgers love that makes them feel proud. This is a tip for other candidates that are going to be running for the city of Johannesburg mayoral, whatever. Okay. So corruption, we know this corruption. We know that. When you don't have to even tell us about corruption, because, okay, we'll come back to that point. We'll come back. Those are things that we need to close to so that we can collect sufficient money so that we can invest in infrastructure development. Sir, when you are going to be a leader, either of a country or a city, you need to create conducive environment for investors to come. That's what Joburg has always done. It always opened itself up for investors to be attracted to the city of Johannesburg, because the mayor would have created that environment. Secondly, you need to talk about how the city of Johannesburg, after creating a conducive environment for investors, how you are going to also, using the city money, create entrepreneurs. How are you going to turn Johannesburg into a city of New York, where somebody has a small little coffee shop in the corner of a building, or how another entrepreneur will have a printing company of t-shirts? And I know these days you can do it online, but hey, sometimes physical walking in store is still a thing. How a young bookworm can open a small little bookstore with a coffee shop in there. You see, I'm not going to these big industrial businesses. I'm going for something that is practical. How are you going to do that? Because I can tell you, when I was growing up, that is exactly what I saw in the city of Johannesburg. If you go to Pritchard Street, corner Pritchard and Van Willig, under that the attorneys, is it attorneys? Not attorneys. The advocates' chamber. I think it's called Pritchard Street Chambers or something like that. They have a nice coffee shop in there where all lawyers and their clients' briefings are done there, and the coffee shop owner makes a lot of money. You see what I'm trying to say? Don't tell us about collection of money so that you can invest in the infrastructure. No, how you are going to create entrepreneurs who are going to pay taxes so that you are able to build and also repair the infrastructure of Johannesburg. Not only repair the infrastructure of Johannesburg, but also what are your visions when it comes to aligning the city of Johannesburg with the 21st century, particularly the fourth industrial revolution. Like free Wi-Fi, the entire city of Johannesburg, so that people who are South African nomads, not even nomads, they work for international companies. They can walk into these coffee shops or whatever and work from there. Do we get the... Okay. He continues to say, okay, the article continues to say, currently serving as a member of the Mayoral Committee for Human Settlement in Johannesburg, Mabaso highlighted the city's excessive reliance on government grants and financial institution loans. We know this. You don't have to tell us about this. We want to know how you are going to create a conducive environment for investors so that all of this goes away. We know that we're dependent on government. We know that. Quote, we are reliant on grant payments from the government and loans we receive from financial institutions. This should not be the case, close quote, he argued. Instead, Mabaso proposed a shift towards establishing a stable revenue base that would enable the city to thrive independently. Okay, I know he's going to say, but go to our manifesto and read what this point means. But I'm sure if I do go there, it's going to sound generic. It's almost going to be like what the ANC would tell us and has been telling us for the past 32 years. We need a new language, new terminologies that we see ourselves in that manifesto. Open quote, we need a stable revenue base to help us build the city of Johannesburg. This is the third time he's saying the same thing. Over and above this, we have articulated in our rescue plan that the majority of people here are seeking economic opportunities. No. You are talking more about people that are coming from somewhere into the city. You're supposed to talk to the citizens of Johannesburg. Tell them how you are going to bring Joburg back to them. Yeah, Egoli, city of gold. How are you going to bring it back? Not for people that are coming from outside. Their municipalities need to work for them. Tell them how they are going to stop them from coming to the city of Johannesburg. It's a tiny little city. Our industrial sites have been invaded and converted into illegal residential areas. We need to reclaim those industrial sites. Sir, you need to be assertive about this because this is a crime. You know, sometimes I do believe, Mina, in taking action and answer later. Like, you go to Home Affairs and you say to Home Affairs, I do not want anybody that's not supposed to be in my city. So you better do your job or I will do it myself. Going into individual buildings yourself as a mayor and getting everybody out of here. If they take you to court, at least they'll be gone. And trust me, citizens of Johannesburg will be right behind you because they know that these people are the ones that have taken away their Johannesburg. So you need to grow a pear, and that pear needs to be iron when you deal with this point of hijacked buildings and industrial sites that have been invaded and converted into illegal residential areas. Always have bulldozers. Anybody that passes by, they are ready to work. You need to set example. If there is a building that is condemned, you bulldoze it down Anybody else that refuses to vacate, bring it down. Bring it down. That's the type of mayor we are looking for. You need to be as aggressive as these criminals. Match the energy. Mabaso, who was appointed MMC for Human Settlements in the city of Johannesburg in 2024 by then Mayor Kabelo Gwamanda, indicated that central to his vision is the need to ensure big businesses return to the city as investors. How? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Because you need to speak real language here about how you're going to create that environment. How are you going to now go to Sandton and say, hi, Bantubasa Santini, the city of Johannesburg is now conducive for you to come back? Or at least open a branch downtown Johannesburg. How are you going to do that? The city is old. How are you going to do that? How are you going to match the energy of Sandton and bring it to the city of Johannesburg? So that means you need to go to Sandton and ask the owners of all those businesses, what is it that brought you here? They will give you the answers as to, you do like SWOT analysis of some sort. Because as a mayor, you're also a business owner. You're a CEO of the city. Yeah. Open quote, we need to create mass employment for our people. Which people, sir? Because you need to say for the people of Johannesburg. Other people, they need to be getting their own mayors, telling them what they're going to do to prevent them from coming to Joburg, sir. You are not running a country. If more people can access these employment opportunities, that means more money for the city of Johannesburg and our economy, as people are not going to depend on the government. No, wrong language, sir. Absolutely wrong language. It almost felt like I'm reading an essay of a fifth grader. No, you need to speak a business language. That's what Johannesburg is about. Business. It's not just a municipality or a metro. It's a business. It's the economic hub of Africa. That's how we know it as Joburgers. We've always known ourselves as the economic hub of Africa. Why do you think all these foreign nationals have come to Johannesburg in particular? Because of that 2 words or 3. Economic hub of Africa. Is it 4? It is also going to assist in dealing with informalities. Again, you need to be ruthless when it comes to these. It's not something you need to tell us about. We want to know as Joburgers how you are going to bring back our city to its former glory. Right now, everything that I've read thus far, it sounds like what ANC would say to us. This employment opportunities, you shouldn't be even speaking about employment opportunities because employment opportunities are opened by entrepreneurs. How are you going to create entrepreneurs for the city of Johannesburg? That was close quote, right? Echoing the sentiments shared by Mabaso, BIIFP leader Velingkosini Hlabisa reflected on the economic impact the city of Johannesburg has on the rest of the country economically. No, we don't care about the rest of the country. We care about us in the city of Johannesburg. We care about us. What about when are we going to feature in your speech, in your manifesto? That's what will convince me to vote for IFP. If you are talking to me as the resident and citizen of the city of Johannesburg. Okay, open quote as a last sentence. Johannesburg, as I stated, is the economic hub of our country. No, Africa, sir. Africa. If Johannesburg is working, South Africa will work. No, we don't care about, close quote. We don't care. We care about us, sir. We care about us. It's about time that mayoral candidates, when they speak in the manifestos, they focus on their people respectively. We're telling foreign nationals, for Africa to unite, you need to go back home and fix your country. And once all 54 countries of the African continent has been fixed, then we come together and making sure that Africa as a whole succeeds. And I had so much high hopes. We are tired of generic manifestos. Tired. Generic. This is what the ANC has been saying to us for eons of years. No nostalgia. No, let me bring in the people of Johannesburg in this 10-point plan. You're telling us about South Africa. No. No. For South Africa to work, every municipality needs to succeed respectively. And then the city of Johannesburg then becomes the leader. You cannot have city of Johannesburg doing extremely well while all the other municipalities are falling apart. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to have influx of people because they say, and they all come to Joburg. Oh, Africa is doing the same thing to South Africa. Their countries are failing, and then they say, oh, in South Africa, and they all come here. I don't know. That's all that I wanted to say. Please enjoy your Monday, guys. And I don't know what your thoughts about these two burning issues in my head. I don't know. You are the voter. You know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. Again, I like Mr. Mabaso. I think what he's doing currently is absolutely amazing. But as a mayoral candidate, I think you need to refine your 10-point plan. This is not it. And when I was listening to the interview as well, I was left with, how do you put this in a nice way? I was left with a cardboard taste in my mouth. More like sawdust taste in my mouth. I was not inspired. I did not jump. I did not punch the air or pull the air or whatever. I was like, Anyways, I'll see you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Whatever you do, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and defend this country with everything you've got. Mr. Pagalum Tagati Ndabandaba, it's time to utilize the courts, sir. They've pushed you to respond, and I'm telling you, they're going to be twisting and turning your words. Now they need to go and prove that in a court of law. That's all I'm going to say. Goodbye, guys.